So it's depending how your business model works. So you can group it. There's a lot of functionalities, lot of features, and a lot of functionalities that with new new versions with the OpenAPI 3 versions. So that means just you need is very straightforward. You need the OpenAPI configuration, the class, annotated configuration. It will be the created the bean, OpenAPI beans, creations with the meta informations, with the you reading the files from the application, the YAML files, and you can also define the grouping functionalities with OpenAPI. So see that really straightforward bean creation with the group OpenAPIs bean generation with the different group functionality or the different grouping way of doing. So that means if you configure these ones, then we need to before the configuration, of course, you need to be inject the application, the pom.xml file. You need that respective dependencies. So you see the dependencies here. So in the Spring doc, OpenAPI UI doc, and we are using 1.5.9s. And then if you inject the dependency before, first you inject the dependency, and then you start the configuration. The open configuration doesn't matter which how you name it. And I do that's I said it is really the professional structure, how the Spring dependency injected, or how can you inject it automatically dependency in it. So this is base project structure. It has a really professional way. So it has a config directory, work package, it has a controller package, the model package, and it has a repository package, and it has a service package in definition and implementation package, and it has a utility package, and this is the main class methods. So that's I said it is really professional way to call and to structure your projects. If you are beginners, please, I suggest this. I share my knowledge last 10 years or 12 years in the industry experience, and that's why I say this is professional way. So for the beginners, it's really hard to understand, but if you get it, I believe you can really good way to handle, or good way to go or to your development careers. So and so that means we inject the dependency, the pom.xml file, our respective pom.xml files, and then this is the project structure. And after that pom.xml created, we have a config working directory package, and then put it your configurations, and then and so on and so forth. It's really straightforward. And then for the Swagger 2 case, just you need which API we need. So I need to go to the pom.xml files. Maybe it needed 2 APIs. So you see the 2 APIs here. So it needs the Swagger UI API, and it needs the Swagger 2 the doc APIs. So it's 2.6.1. This is the part of the UI that you are looking you are there. Then the part of the UI, this one, and this is the docs. This is the doc versions of this dependency. So it's automatically created. And then what's the configurations? This is straightforward configurations that I already show you. This is the straightforward configuration. You can also annotate enable the Swagger 2 annotation, and that's all. Even though you can put this annotation into the config folder in here. So depending how it's configured. So I put it in the global scales into the main method, application main methods. So you see they're really very straightforward, the configurations. The Swagger 2 configuration, very simple. One single bean created all the docs. It automatically create the docs informations. So if I go to the docs, the controller, how is the controller definition is done. So is it very straightforward. So you see the controller definitions, API text, and this is the we defined like some set values, which set the values, and you have some API operations, API response, and so on and so forth. It's very straightforward. API operations, and then response, and here you see the same things. You have an API operation, the description of the services. You see that this is the same thing we already saw here in the Swagger UI. So the descriptions, list of view, list of available only content, register users. So all the descriptions, what you define, but I didn't did it complete descriptions, but this is I got it really clear. You can get a clear idea of what I mean. So you said only simple names. You can do more annotation, more description, add the services. You can do what you like to do. Even you can so parameterize the annotation that we will discuss. So it's a path variables, and you API params is there. So you just put a default value what we saw in the UI. It says update functions. So you see the default value is set in here. So everything is possible to put it here. So and then we have controller definitions, the two controllers. So exactly the same things we define here. There's controller, just like same API operation, straightforward, and so on and so forth. We didn't completed all the functionalities. We just put it like the sum to give it to you idea how can you annotate, how can you add the more documentation for each of the your endpoints or each of the service or each of the functions. So that's the property. This is designed in the here. So we call it like using 2 times the same values for different purposes, or you can program it like the different, maybe different one map class, and then read the map class to put it these values, not the inside the classes. Depending how you program it, how you design it, it's depend up to you. So that means you can go back to the Flyway case, for the OpenAPI 3 cases. And why I say the Flyway case, because we in the previous screencast we already discussed how can you integrate the Flyways for the database migrations. So Flyways or Liquiways, or doesn't matter. I already did it in my last screencast, how we can do it, how can you build the really professional way to integrate the database migrations with the Flyway Liquibase, depending how it is done, how it is depending it's your business logic or business models. So it is really professionally designed. So you can look for the previous screencast and see how it is the migrations, Flyway or Liquibase migration is integrated. So that means for the Open API configurations, we have a simple beans and then set the values from the YAML files, or you can simply set some YAML for some description files. That's we put it here in the previous projects, depend how we program it. So configuration is done, then we need to be annotated our controllers. So nothing more special. So this is the specials. So it's put it some dummy values or some static values for our required descriptions, the professional way. So we tag it here, put it there, and we have some stack functionalities, and the configuration is there. Then we need to be controller to open it. And controller is his user registration controller, exactly the same things. It has a tag annotation. It has a name, and we put it in the name of the what we have defined here. So the name user registration service that you already show here in the show user registration service. So user registration service, and it has descriptions. If I go to the description here, so it has a description. The registration controller, it has a descriptions. So you see the description there, the registration API service descriptions, and then user tag service, user services. That's exactly what is showing here. The description you write it: user registration service, user registration APIs. So, and that is depend how we program, as I said. So it has a tag. So difference between the tag, the Swagger 3, it has a tag annotation, and Swagger 2, it has a different annotations. If I go to the same controller, the registration controller uses the API tags, API annotations, and the tags, and tags putting the values, and the tags in has a multiple. You can put it comma separated multiple tags depending how it is programmed, how it is done. So and then the Swagger UI 3, it has only the API annotations and the names and description of the files and other things. And for the Swagger 3 case operation, it was the API operations, and you can say summary and descriptions. For the previous one, it has only the value. I believe it is only the value. It has only the APIs, it's a value. but maybe there are more and additional informations, but it is depending how